بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful, distinguished guests on screens from all over the world, from the UAE, I welcome you. My name is Amira Mohammed. I am a TV in Abu Dhabi media through this rich series, virtual series, presented by the Knowledge Summit and full of everything in you in different types of knowledge. I am happy to be with you and my honorable guests in this virtual session for this today, the fourth one, which comes under the title of the role of entertainment during the pandemic. We all know that during 2020, corona pandemic broke through and many things changed during that time, and we are affected, and they affected us. One of the sectors that were affected is the entertainment, including cinema, TV, theater, films, programs, and many other platforms, particularly the digital platforms, where they have entertainment things for the public, and we stayed at home for a long time. So we needed a lot to communicate with the other people around the world. So we will talk about how the coronavirus pandemic affected all the sectors of entertainment and how it affected us and how we were affected by this pandemic. I welcome Ms. Nadine Samra, the Chief Business Officer of Wayak, and Mr. Nashaat Eldehy, the CEO 10 channels. He will join us later because there is traffic jam. I am honored to welcome and to join you on this platform. We have news about the electronic platforms, and today we will talk about that with you, Ms. Amira. I would like to note that the audience will take a participation certificate, and for interpretation they can hit the link at the bottom of the screen, and we will take your questions during this session and during this discussion, and try to answer them as soon as possible, and at the end if possible. I will start with Ms. Nadine. You are the CEO of the Wayak.com platform, affiliated to entertainment company. You launched it in 2017, before, or 3 years ago, before the pandemic 2020. And you held the position of the MBC, and you managed the digital platforms. I will start with a public question before coming into details. How the coronavirus pandemic affected the entertainment sector? Corona affected entertainment sector in general, not only in TVs, because we are in the media. It affected the channels and the TV channels. We in Wayak, I would like to give a brief about Wayak. What is it? Wayak platform is a platform affiliated by or belonging to the entertainment platform, international platform. Our content of series and films, it is an international platform, and the content of films and TV is only for the Arabs all over the world. The type of the content is that it constitutes 50% from Indian dubbed to Arabic Indian films, and the other 50 is Egyptian, Syrian, Gulf films and series. In addition to that, we started to produce more. Our production experiment is Arabic production, purely Arabic production, because we have been for 25 years producing in Indian language. But as Wayak, we started with Arabic productions 3 years ago, basically when the pandemic hit out. So our strategy at that year was to start with the original production for the Wayak. And it was the same year when the pandemic hit up. So things changed positively, not negatively, and this is the good thing in this side. How it affected us positively, if we remember, in March, the world, all people stayed at home, and there was a lockdown, so they needed entertainment because they had a long time. So because of this, and as we are existed and people know about us, we have a good brand established for people, and it is known in the Arab world, particularly in Saudi Arabia, in the Gulf area, in Morocco, Iraq, and Egypt. These are the places we were known lots, and people started to enter into the platforms. The cars changed and shuffled, and many companies had backup plans and second plans. So what can we do? They said in the uncertainty times, because they did not know where they are going, so 3/4 of the companies reduced their budget. At the same time, we were not affected negatively. Adversely, many users increased, the number of users increased. So we were impacted. So because people would not like to spend a lot for advertising, so the revenues were affected. But how we look at it, it was a positive time. The more people come to our platforms, the better for us, because at the end of the time, it was a cloud in the teacup. I would like to welcome again Mr. Nashaat Eldehy for joining us in this session. I would like to mention it again. Mr. Nashaat Eldehy is the CEO of 10 Channel. We welcome you, Mr. Nashaat, again. You are welcome, all the viewers and all the colleagues. A moment ago, we were talking about, with Ms. Nadine, about the effect of the pandemic on the entertainment sector in general. And we knew something about Wayak and how it was affected and how it dealt with the pandemic. Now, Mr. Nashaat, you run 2 sectors, Mr. Nashaat, of entertainment, TV, and a digital sector or platform. Tell us about the digital platform and tell us how you were affected by this pandemic in TV and the digital platform. At the beginning, I would like to thank you for participating and discussing, because the pandemic, I think, was a good side in changing our thinking. It was a critical point. Before the pandemic was totally different from what is after it. The TV channels maybe were invalid in following these spectrums. So the digital platforms were the solution. I had classical and digital platforms. I disclosed that the digital platform was born during the pandemic. The conventional tools did not save us for follow-up and revise and telling people and direct people. and to get people out of the psychological situation. The conventional things did not help, so we started to create a digital platform for the speed up of the entertainment and the getting people out of the pandemic. And it has a lot of risks, but we managed to overcome these things. The lighted things is in this side is to depend on ourselves and develop and expand these platforms and investment as well in the digital platforms to bridge the gap between the classical way in dealing with the crisis on the conventional ways and the modern ways. So we have the citizen editor. I think this crisis unleashed a lot of rumors that are aired and produced within an hour. Who can combat these rumors first, then correcting and rectifying the concepts and making a psychological balance for the viewer. During the pandemic, the viewer all over the world was exposed to a psychological setback because he was sitting at home and he was afraid of the unknown future. So the citizen and the viewer and the follower was in a state of psychological impact. How they can get out of this impact? I think entertainment is the main means for that. And getting away from the bad rumors, we should make entertainment a good side and should not understand that we are in a big crisis. I personally respect telling the people and the viewers this is a new situation, and this situation would be suitable. The good things that make people happy, and we try to get people out of this impassage. Let me tell you clearly, who can entertain people, who can make people enjoy with a new content. We had a problem. The content maker and the presenter should have a psychological balance to present a convincing thing for the viewers. There was a difficulty really in that. So we intended that the content maker should present entertaining content, not a humorous one, because there is a difference between both. So this is a line thread to differentiate between the types of contents, and it was difficult to differentiate between them. I will go back to you, Mr. Nashaat, and I will go to Ms. Nadine. Now, 2020 came, and there was a lockdown, and all are at home. What are the plans you followed promptly to adapt with the new reality in Wayak.com? We in Wayak, as a company, we are a digital platform. We are accustomed to working remotely or through digital world. We are accustomed to that. Surely two things were affected. We as a company were affected, and what are the plans? As a company, we were not affected greatly because the work was remote. We changed over a day and night, and we were not affected. We have the content produced on a daily basis. We have a long and wide process because from planning perspectives as a TV platform, the content is already with you, and you will follow the grid and use the certain devices that help you in this one. In OTV, the type of the content and the size of the content on the platform is much more. This is a very important point. For example, you can provide 50 or 60 series for the content. We as a teamwork knew how to work. So the good side is that because we were accustomed to working online, all of these things are found on the cloud. So nothing impeded us. We were to be in the office, apart from the basic things that we could do. And the multimedia editors, they had big machinery and took them to home, and there was no problem for that. This is according to the company. On the other hand, the strategy that we followed at the beginning of the pandemic, we were affected because we were uncertain how we will move. Will we continue on our content plans or production? Particularly at that time, we had the production plan started at that time, and we were supposed to start in Ramadan with our first series from our own production. This plan was slightly affected because Ramadan came after 1 month and a half, so we stopped completely. Even the production also, all the production cities in Egypt, in the UAE, in Syria, in the Gulf area, all of them were affected. The whole world really was affected. That's right. Most series stopped filming and recording, and this affected all the TV and platform sector. We did not know what we should do and what content we should produce and establish on the TV. And the number of series during Ramadan were little, and those who finished filming stopped, and they were delayed. But because we depended on the content and the audience, they liked our content, we continued our plans in terms of subtitling and dubbing, and our plans did not affect or was not affected, and we continued to keep up with the new audience. People come to you and they have some expectations, so that you have to feed the platform on a daily basis or monthly or weekly basis. So we followed that. After the passage of 8 or 9 months, we came back to our platform of production, and we managed to produce the first series, which was Shara Chicago, named Shara Chicago or Chicago Street. It was the first production of Wayak platform, and thanks God, last year we produced 7 works, and before that 4 works, and we are continuing with more works this year and ahead. Good. So remote work was more organized and dependable and reliable. The people lodged to the digital platforms, and these platforms were lucky to spread and disseminate all over the world. Mr. Nashaat, you talked about the platform. It was born during the pandemic. Please tell us more about that before moving into the TV entertainment sector, which was affected greatly, of course. I'm sorry, there is a technical problem with Mr. Nashaat. He cannot hear the question. There is a technical problem with Mr. Nashaat. He cannot hear the question. We will come back to him again, and I will go back to you, Nadine, now. Now, the number of as you said, the production had more than phases. during that pandemic. We talk about the entertainment and other entertainment things, and thanks God you were affected positively despite the challenges. Let's talk more about the dissemination and spread. What did you see in terms of numbers and figures? During the research, I found a theme report and many agencies of entertainment sector like Netflix and others. The video was highly demanded and made a lot of profits. Tell us please about the Arab world and Wayak. What are the outstanding statistics in Wayak specifically? When the pandemic started, the number of viewers before it was increasing month after month. We as entertainment platforms, the peaks, we found them more in Ramadan, and after Ramadan they decrease. The first point is that we have more traffic, which is a good thing. So people come and sit and see our content and our production. The trick and the key question to us was what will happen after the 2 months and after people go back to their workplace. This is not in our interest to have a peak during the 2 months and decline after that. We think we should maintain and keep this peak. So how can we retain this audience? This was a big challenge with the thoughts we can maintain, but how can we guarantee the number of hours of viewing? Particularly, these people will go back to their work and they will have a busy schedule and many matters. There were many question marks. No one could answer them. In the brainstorming sessions, we asked many questions and put plans regarding the product and the marketing or the sales. We always had question marks, either us or all the partners we work with and the clients and agencies and providers. No one could have an answer. So it was an uncertain time. The good thing that we had in Wayak, or the best decision we took in Wayak, is to continue on the same approach. As someone put his hands on his ears and say, I do not care, I will go ahead and continue. People join us and we should continue to entertain them and present them the best content. Many companies closed and many did not invest and stop investing. But we were able to invest in our content and we were able to continue according to our decisions so that we can build up our house and put our name in the market, a strong name in the market, dependable name in the market for the future. At the end of the day, the pandemic will finish or change, or we will coexist with it. This is our thought. Maybe we will coexist it. But the unknown or the uncertainty came, and we did not know whether it is 2 or 3 or 6 months. So we have to deal with the pandemic. This realization helped us at that time to continue our policies and our perspective for the platform and continue on the same track. We did not sit at home and stopped putting the content on follow-up with the users. On the contrary, people had more time, so the feedback was more, and the communication on social media was bigger. And on YouTube, for example, according to us, social media channels are only marketing for Wayak platform. These channels, we grow a lot, but Wayak on YouTube, if you go to Wayak on YouTube, it had more than 5 million subscribers. Just we do not put a complete content. What we will see on Wayak, all these works.
They are coming organically to the platform. Basically, our traffic has grown double. It has doubled. And the users also is more 70%. The time limit, the watching content time of the program or film is more. So the platform is 50 minutes, which is high considered. Therefore, the user during the pandemic from 1 to 1 hour and a half. So we can say that you have more YouTubes, but the main key of success was agility and adaptation. I'm sorry again. Back to two sectors of entertainment, Mr. Nashaat. He is well known in the digital sector and TV sector. Both were affected. First, let's talk about Madar, which was established due to the pandemic. How was that? How was your response? What were the major issues you took into consideration to give to the public with entertainment with criteria? To start with, we should admit that the pandemic made us aware on many issues, particularly on the traditional media. I supervised 2 channels or 2 platforms. We are talking about Egypt media, complaints, needs. We always bet that the pandemic made the viewer at home, prisoner at home. So many people will be at home. So we are sure that all viewers are at home. We feel that there is a pandemic. People are at home. There is chaos in supply chain. But eventually, this is the media time. It's the real time for the media to reorganize and to very quickly there was double development of TV and people are at home. We have content of entertainment for people so that they are not prisoners of psychological problems. The decision was quick to have a digital platform, quick news, quick participation of what we call the citizen media or media for citizens in order to cover the traditional media. So we have videos, just 3 minutes. Now it's half a minute. This caused more proactivity and participation. Everybody wanted to see the short videos. Big countries used to give 4 minutes in the past, following or during what we call the Arab Spring. After the Arab Spring, we have the pandemic. How did the conventional and digital media deal with this? Both succeeded in developing their tools and mechanisms and attraction of more producers and makers of this content. All over the world, we have writers, journalists, media representatives, and we have also digital media specialists. Also, we followed that Joe Biden is meeting for those who are dealing with TikTok. This wasn't a normal piece of information. It was the certificate of success to TikTok. And to find who are the influencers, those who influence TikTok and other channels. I believe that even in Egypt, our experience we don't get satisfied with editors. We are referring to those who have impact on social media, digital information, and digital platforms. Newspapers sell 500,000 copies, so it will reach only 500,000, and each reader about 2 million who follow the newspapers. But TV also, so everybody is looking for the mobile and telephone. So 80% of followers are on digital platforms. So the transfer has become more agile, and it reached all levels of age groups of audience. And the digital content is available for all age groups. We have the Al-Madar, the digital Al-Madar, which is based on entertainment. We are not looking for good content. This is the challenge. We need attractive, good content. How to urge the audience or the spectators with short digitals or YouTubes.
No one can sit in front of the TV to follow a play of the 3 chapters. Today we have a small or a 3-minute sketch with a good message. So making a digital theater by stars is very possible. We will talk about that later. You confirmed the digital prosperity either on Yak or Al-Madar, but the TV sector, how was it affected? We all had challenges in this sector, production and the curfew or the lockdown. How did you interact? How did you adapt? What did you do to produce entertainment for the TV? How this sector was affected? If the question is mine, its answer will be similarly to the previous question. We are entertainment and we are a big network of TV. working in around the world. We have more than 85 channels. We had many languages, Indian and international languages, like, for example, Arabic and German. We had also in USA, in Africa, in APAC, etc. So the effect was very great on TV. It was positive in terms of the percentage of viewers on TV also. Many people come and watch the TV. But the production sector was greatly affected because people sat at home. At that time, at the beginning, we were greatly affected in a negative way. And advertising also was affected. We had many budgets that reduced, and there were many questions how the people will go and continue, and our plans also were affected. This behavior or the effect touched all the TV platforms and the TV sets. I know many channels started to close because of the conditions and circumstances, because they could not complete. So from the broadcasting perspective, we were not, if they were not prepared, of course, they will be affected because people are sitting at home and the TV was affected greatly or greater than the digital one. The TV was not prepared well for that. The digital sector was part of the future and was adapted to it. But the TV sector did not. Not only in our sector, but in all TV sectors. Regarding the operation also, how they could complete their operations remotely. So it took them a long time, more than us. But production, we were all affected. We had a lot of questions online about this topic we are talking about because some people ask how we were affected by in terms of production. And what people know that there was a time where producers produce fast in the for the series because they took a long time. So the tackle was fast and production in a short time, very fast in a short time. I will come back to this question again, but I would like to talk with Mr. Nashaat about the TV sector. As you are the CEO of the 10 TV, how the effect was on this TV. Under the lack of production programs or new programs or plays or theaters or programs, we were in the library, had a lot of old films and plays and series. So we started to present them again with making certain adaptation and the times and the process of reproduction for during this period. We bridged a gap and we came back because there was a production of short theater plays or series and deal with the producers on more than one TV channel, which was known as the digital platforms. So we overcame this problem. Then later we discovered that during this pandemic has created a new reality. I think all the education programs became remote and all healthcare programs turned into digital. And e-commerce and advertising these programs gave an optimum and a niche for that. It was not a black or a gray picture that needs to make use of the opportunity. I think what happened is to restructure and refound many principles and change them. The market was more flexible and dealing with new institutions. There was integration between all to give a good image. But I personally believe that the speed of meeting the requirements of the period was a little bit difficult at the beginning, but in a short time we started again, and we were understanding this change. In my estimation, if there were no pandemic, according to the conventional TV, we would continue on the conventional way and without change, of course. All these were procrastinated dreams or delayed dreams. According to the digital media, it had the same story, because we started the battle and we should face and combat. And many principles changed as we moved to another new world. If I am not in this industry, I think more successful for this media to deal with the pandemic is like a bridge that was crossed by many people during the times of the pandemic. The politicians and the providers were captivated as the media was kidnapped and captivated. We saw another crisis as the Ukrainian-Russian war broke out. The question is how the pandemic was less important along with the war between Russia and Ukraine. Maybe we can find a piece of news on the classical and digital platforms. Every day there was a report about the affected and the death cases, and so instead of on a daily basis, it became on a weekly basis. The new pandemic made the old one less important. So the media with all its platforms managed to change and succeeded. It became more flexible than before. So flexibility is the main factor, the basic factor, which was the key for the continuity in the media sectors and entertainment sectors as well. There were many questions from the viewers that will contribute to enrich this session and suitable for our content. The question that drew my attention, Ms. Nadine, is about the entertainment programs. We produced, I think, during the pandemic, a lot of programs and series and entertainment content very quickly. You, as part of this sector, how the pandemic affected the quality of the production and how extent it affected the viewers. Was the quality high, or should we present a content and that's it? This question drew my attention, and the person who asked it is a good follower to what is going on in terms of the produced series in the Arab world. At the time of the corona, and the year when it broke in the 2019, the production companies came back to produce again, but is faster and faster pace. Many works were affected in terms of quality, and it was seen and noticed by us and by the viewers. I'm not talking about one or two works, but I'm talking about the content in general, like series that we saw on platforms or TV. There was a rush in the RT, which affected their quality. regarding the percentages of viewers had no direct impact, but the viewers. So the important point is the people's opinion about the content, either with us or the others. They may say this is good, this is bad, this had problems, this had no content, etc., etc. I saw these questions, but the good thing that we made at that time is that the first series for Wayak as an original content, we were not fast about that, and we decided not to air it during Ramadan, and it took 8 months, which is a long time frame for the production in the Arab world. Usually they did not take this time, but it took us a long time because of the problems that followed the corona, as people stayed at home and the new regulations that were enforced. I think we took a decision, a true decision, because the first work was very important and it was successful, and it has a good echo to us and to TV channels. What do you think about that, Mr. Nashaat? The speed in producing a lot of entertainment programs, how did that affect the viewers? I think the river digs its stream or way. Everyone who owns an idea or a content, we started to show it on the digital platforms. It was very easy to us, and the percentage of viewers and interaction is checked with these productions. A lot of productions, in our estimation, using a ruler to measure that, the measurement will not be complete or strict and did not take a high percentage of good assessment or evaluation. This needs a lot of checking. I need high interaction. I need a high viewers percentage, which was not expected, despite the preservations at the beginning on this presenter content or ideas. We discovered that the market and the viewers were many, and there are a lot of psyches and moods about that. What suits you may not suit others, but in most cases we mistake in evaluating the content, and we had a reaction more than we thought. There are, for example, songs of celebrations or certain sketches which are abnormal. We find that reaching them is in billions. How did that happen? Maybe the people would like to get out of the conventional framework, or their moods changed. We tested the moods, and the production is the guarantee for survival and preserving a certain percentage. Because I cannot say that the society has the seriousness and the humor. The same person who sees the serials and the news is the same person who follows the humorous things, or who looks for a smile or an anecdote. The person absorbs because he has changing psyche and mood. I discovered that the digital platforms save us in this connection. It meets all the requirements, because the idea of reaching out a big segment of people who likes political news is wrong, because the same segment likes the unpolitical news, and the same like the humorous, the comedy. So you are before a big segment of people. The same person may be a client for all the products, even though they are ridiculous to a certain extent. Actually, your answer led me to another question. What are the conclusions, the outstanding conclusions, and the public views? What the public needs? We had classical views. We would like to present something for the public. In general, we found that we have a good and production, and we are looking for a viewer for that, or we have the viewer and looking for the content.
I have content, I need a viewer, or I have a viewer, and I need a content. But don't impose your content and look for a viewer and promote for it. Once you know the viewer, then just provide him with the content. In Europe, North and South and West, now they're looking for iod to get rid of, so that they are not affected by the nuclear weapons. People are at war now. We need some pacification. Life is simple. They need entertainment. They need to feel his feelings. They need empathy. The public need a positive content. Yes. All the viewers, not only in the Arab region, in general, at world, look for a safety point, security. People lack security now. If the feeling of safety or security is missing, if it's in the form of YouTube, and we need to tell them that things will pass away, don't worry. We need to show them the road. How can we turn on the light for the viewers? How did you know the viewers more? And people are using more social media than before. Now you know your viewers more. What are the conclusions that you have reached? In general, the Arab viewers, we have serials and programs for the Arab countries. TV or platforms know that. The second point is we know that the programs, the serials or episodes are important for the viewers, particularly with new trends such as for 30 days. Now we know 10 episodes. All the format, which are various, are included in the video Amani. Viewers want to see 10 episode programs, 10-minute episodes. We succeeded in that 2 months ago, but this is not the only way out. The Arab viewer needs more entertainment. We have other programs, 15 episodes with original content. The viewers ask about season 2. The Arab viewer watches 30, watches 100 episodes. The Indian episodes are very long. They are still very popular and continuous and sustainable long-term viewers for the Indian programs. So they don't fade out. For Turkish and Indian long programs, people like to watch for a long time. In short, we still look for Indian, Turkish programs. We will continue to produce 30 episodes. We have more production. We are not narrowing down. We give more options to the viewer. Due to the constraint of time, let's move to the future, the trends towards the future. There's another question. What's the impact of digital entertainment on kids, on children? Of course, children stayed at home. And this is common among families in the Arab region. Number of hours of watching TV, iPhone, and iPad is longer. They're consuming a lot of time. For platforms, digital platforms, viewers, no matter of age group, the more they watch, the better for us. So we have more advertising. Another question, final question to you both, Mr. Nashaat. The trends of the entertainment, where are we going on TV and on digital production? What are we going to focus on in entertainment in the next era? Entertainment sector needs revisiting due to the new outcomes. I took an opinion during Ramadan. We need a platform for comedy and entertainment and comics, satire. Also, TV needs more entertainment, particularly for kids. I think children staying at home, whether they study at home, online, or physically, they need TV or digital platforms. What is accepted yesterday is not accepted today. What was accepted in the past is not accepted now. We don't want to fall victims of political programs or wars. Therefore, the psychological balance will be by entertainment or by accurate entertainment. You talked about digital plans, about theater. The theater also was slaughtered due to the pandemic. So we are using the digital platforms for the comedies and for short periods of time, and can be shown on digital platforms, but not theater. Due to the pandemic, the theater needs to divide the play into parts. So each one comedy will be divided into 5 comedies. Entertainment sector and digital platforms. Where are you going? Where's your destination? Yes, we want to continue. We need more viewers, more spectators. We should continue our production. It was successful recently. Hopefully next year and the coming years will continue. We have 2 main different theaters. The Indian content, which we have in Wayak. The second one is Arab programs, which is original content on Wayak. These 2 points make us more viewers. We attract more viewers. I'm really happy with this panel discussion. Nadine and Nashaat, at the end, would you like to give a final message to the audience? My message is the future has very happy news. Future is happy and positive. Optimism is our weapon. Nadine, I'd like to thank you and thank our followers. We hope that we have given them some new data or information, particularly on Wayak. We are waiting for you. We have good content in Ramadan. Shukran. We are waiting for the content which is good, like mentioned by Nashaat. We are waiting for your creativity. Thanks, Nadine, and thanks, Nashaat, from 10 TV. Thank you for joining us on this Knowledge Summit and your specialization on entertainment as a tool for hope or a window of opportunity. Thanks for those who organized the Knowledge Summit and this important content. Thanks again. Amira Mohammed from Abu Dhabi. Thank you.